Ladies and gentlemen, these folks waste a lot of time doing studies on things we already know. It's a waste of time and effort. And who is asking for these studies anyway? Seriously, we need a study on the fact that you don't want CRT taught in schools. All right, y'all, let's get into it. A new study reveals the anti CRT agenda is really about denying racism and revising history. Didn't we already know this? I'm just saying. A new study conducted by an ultra conservative Manhattan Institute and published by the City Journal claims to prove that critical race theory is being taught in K through 12 education. However, their claim is false because they misrepresent CRT to prove their point. According to the study, evidence that CRT is being taught in school comes from recent high school graduates endorsing the following four statements. America is a systematically racist country. White people have white privilege. White people have unconscious biases that negatively affect non white people. And America is built on stolen land. Anyone who has studied CRT understands that the theory cannot be adequately explained through these four concepts. However, these concepts, while not illustrative of CRT, are fundamentally facts about racism in the US. Further, the manner in which conservative media embraces the study gives a compelling glimpse at anti CRT proponents' operational definition of CRT. So, ladies and gentlemen, these arguments are things we've heard forever, even before CRT was a thing. These folks, if you remember, especially if you are a YouTube creator, anytime we dig back in history and we bring up something that happens, oh, this is hate. This is hate. No, history is what it is. Okay, history is what it is. But because these folks have been burying, they've been trying to bury their history for many decades now. It didn't just start now with all this CRT talk. They've been doing this. They'll play dumb. They'll try to act like you shouldn't be talking about that. They get mad. They try to imply the person that is talking about the history is filled with hate. Okay. They've been trying to pull all of this and far more all this time. And that's why I'm saying, why do you need a study for CRT? We already know what the outcome is. So, systemic racism and white privilege are concepts that predicate CRT by decades. In the 1970s, almost a decade before CRT was established as, as something in these schools. And, I don't believe anything in the schools are this detrimental because number one, y'all don't even teach the truth in the schools. You have never taught the truth about history. You have never taught the truth about anything up in these schools, to be honest with you. And sad but true, your best education is going to come when you're done with their schools. That's when you'll start learning the most about the history and so much more. So, They are claiming this is the people on the right that are running around from school to school and screaming and shouting at these meetings and trying to fire principals and teachers and anybody that tries to teach any, even a smidgen of history that pertains to their past. So they are claiming that CRT is teaching children that are white are inherently bad, and that America itself is a racist country. America is a racist country. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Seriously. However, they're trying to say that this is not true. While critical race theory does discuss issues of race and racism in society, it does so with a goal of critically, what they're saying, they want people to examine the history and the forms of oppression in order to move forward. These folks ain't interested in that, and they're not interested in that for their children. They like things the way that it is. That's why all of this stuff has continued for 500 straight years. They're not interested in coming to some kind of understanding. I mean, come on, you are missing the mark with that one. These folks ain't interested in that. They're not interested in learning oppression in order to make change. They don't want to make change. They don't want to make no change. They don't care what we're going through every day. They could care less. So, the existence of systemic racism is not a matter of opinion or perspective. It is a clear and undeniable fact that has been demonstrated by research and lived experience. To deny the existence of these concepts is to deny their experiences of millions of people who endure ongoing oppression simply because of their race. This is not just an issue affecting people in marginalized groups, it is also far reaching implications for the broader community, as those who benefit from privilege are able to advance without any race related obstacles. Simply put, there is no room for debate when it comes to white privilege and systemic racism. They are not concepts to be debated, they are facts that can't be denied. Well, we know that. Again, you don't need a study to know that, but I do agree with that. But no, you don't need to be spending all this money and research and spending months and weeks and even years on something like this. If you want to know what life is under oppression, talk to the Black community. Okay? We'll tell you what it's been like. But again, when have they been interested in that? They're not interested, and they're not going to become interested. They would much rather run up to these schools hollering and screaming and trying to demand that somebody get fired than try to understand the history or the past, which I think they understand anyway. They just don't care. They don't care. It's all about staying on top at all costs, but they can't really keep this going for another 1,000 years. They really can't. It's fizzling out now. And if you look at their overall history, even before they came to this land, they have never been able to run a society beyond just a few hundred years. And then everything just falls apart. And it's happening now here in America. So, I mean, that is the real history. They can't run nothing beyond just a few hundred years. So, I don't know. You know, I always having misgivings about these studies. This is like right up there with HR 40. Like, you need to study what you've done to another group of people. That must be studied. I mean, come on. It's such an insult. Even this is a major insult, just looking at this. But y'all, please tell me what you think. And don't weigh everything on what these schools teach. Whatever they fail to teach, you teach it at home. Plain and simple. They can't deny what your kids learn under your roof. You can teach them whatever you want. Okay? And and technically your kids don't have to be in their school and even have 1 ounce of their curriculum. If you homeschool, then you can pretty much teach them whatever they want. These kids need life skills. They do. This garbage that they teach in school ain't going to help a living soul in life. It's not going to help you. You need real life skills. I mean, these schools don't even teach you how to balance a checkbook or even really know what banking really truly is. There may be some schools doing it, but overall, they don't do that out here. It might be a handful of you that got that, but it's not the norm. I mean, I don't find their education useful at all. The biggest things that I learned outside of their school system, not in it. But y'all, please tell me what you think about this video. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.